Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, we were reading chapter number 4, that is about Hazrat Asma. In the first part of this chapter, we have studied first 4 paragraphs, and today we will start the fifth paragraph of this chapter. So let's start. First listen carefully. Her grandfather, Hazrat Abu Quhafa, was a disbeliever at that time. He was very old and had become blind. He said to her, Asma, I think Abu Bakr has taken all the wealth, leaving you and children empty-handed and helpless. At this, she instantly ran to the corner of the home. She gathered some pebbles and put them at the place where her father used to keep his money and jewels. She covered it with a piece of cloth and then said, Come, grandfather, look, he has left all this for us. He touched the cloth, and though it was full of gold and jewels, his concern was alleviated, and he felt relieved to know that Abu Bakr Siddiq Radiallahu Ta'ala Anhu had left all his wealth at home. Okay, now listen again and underline some difficult words. Her grandfather, Hazrat Abu Quhafa, was a disbeliever at that time. He was very old and had become blind. He said to her, Asma, I think Abu Bakr has taken all the wealth, leaving you and children empty-handed and helpless. At this, she instantly ran to the corner of the home. She gathered some pebbles and put them at the place where her father used to keep his money and jewels. She covered it with a piece of cloth. Come, grandfather, look, he has left all this for us. He touched the cloth and thought it was full of gold and jewels. His concern was alleviated, and he felt relieved to know that Abu Bakr Siddiq had left all his wealth at home. Okay, now see the explanation. Her grandfather means grandfather of Hazrat Asma, whose name was Hazrat Abu Quhafa, means Hazrat Abu Quhafa was father of Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq. When her grandfather, Hazrat Abu Quhafa, was a disbeliever, he was pagan Arab at that time, when Holy Prophet was making this migration. He was very old and had become blind. He said to her, Asma, I think Abu Bakr has taken all the wealth, all the money with him, leaving you and your children empty-handed. Means he has left nothing at home for you and for the children. So he has left you and the children empty-handed and helpless, destitute. At this, when she listened this, she at once, quickly ran to the corner of the home. She gathered some pebbles, some small stones, and put them at the place where her father used to keep his money and jewels. She covered these pebbles with a piece of cloth, and then asked her grandfather, Come, grandfather, look, he has left all this for us. Means he has left all the jewels and all his money for us. Hazrat Abu Quhafa came and he touched the cloth and thought it was full of gold and jewels. Knowing this, his concern means his distress his anxiety was alleviated. Alleviated means lessen, lighten, कम हो जाना. उसकी परेशानी कम हो गई. And he felt relieved. He felt calm, relaxed to know that Abu Bakr Siddiq had left all his wealth at home. Okay, class, now paragraph number 6. First listen. Hazrat Asma Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anha was amongst the early few who accepted Islam. She was the daughter of Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu and the stepsister of Hazrat Aisha Siddiqa Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anha. She was the wife of Hazrat Zubair bin al-Awwam and the mother of Hazrat Abdullah bin Zubair. She died at the ripe old age of about 100 years. Hazrat Abdullah bin Zubair Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu used to say that he had not seen anybody more generous and open-hearted than his aunt Hazrat Aisha and his mother. Hazrat Asma was so generous that she sold her inherited garden and gave away all the money to the poor and needy. Nobody ever returned empty-handed from her doorstep. Hazrat Asma will always be remembered for her courage, generosity, and wisdom. She had resolute faith in Allah Almighty. Her life would always be a beacon of light for all of us. Okay, now listen again and underline some difficult words and phrases. Hazrat Asma was amongst the early few who accepted Islam. She was the daughter of Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq and stepsister of Hazrat Aisha Siddiqa. She was the wife of Hazrat Zubair bin al-Awwam and the mother of Hazrat Abdullah bin Zubair. She died at the ripe old age of about 100 years. Hazrat Abdullah bin Zubair, means her son, used to say that he had not seen anybody more generous and open-hearted than his aunt Hazrat Aisha and his mother. Hazrat Asma was so generous that she sold her inherited garden and gave away all the money to the poor and needy. Nobody ever returned empty-handed from her doorstep. Hazrat Asma will always be remembered for her courage, generosity, and wisdom. She had resolute faith in Allah Almighty. Her life would always be a beacon of light for all of us. Now the explanation. Hazrat Asma Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anha was amongst the early few people who accepted Islam. She was the daughter of Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq and stepsister of Hazrat Aisha Siddiqa. She was the wife of Hazrat Zubair bin Awam and mother of Hazrat Abdullah bin Zubair. She died at the ripe means mature age, old age of about 100 years. Hazrat Abdullah bin Zubair used to say that he had not seen anybody more generous. Generous means charitable, open-handed, sahi, and open-hearted open-hearted means kind, than his aunt Hazrat Aisha and his mother Hazrat Asma. Hazrat Asma was so generous that she sold her inherited means given in heritage, his legacy. Inherited garden means के जो बाग उसको मिरास में मिला था वो वाला बाग बेच दिया and gave away all the money to the poor and needy penniless poor people. Nobody ever returned empty-handed from her doorstep, means from her home. Hazrat Asma will always be remembered for her courage. Courage means boldness, hosla, bahadri, generosity, sakhawat, and wisdom, intelligence, zahanat. She had resolute faith, firm faith in Allah Almighty. Her life would always be a beacon of light for all of us. Beacon of light means tower of light or source of light. Here is the end of this chapter. Now, uh, homework. Unit number 4, part 2, homework. Question number 1 or exercise number 1 is use the following words in useful sentences of your own. Words and meanings have been given. You will write useful sentences. Exercise number 2 is answer the following questions. Which incident in the story shows generosity of Hazrat Asma? Number 2. Why was Hazrat Abu Quhafa worried? Number 3. How did Hazrat Asma satisfy her grandfather, means Hazrat Abu Quhafa? Number 4. Who was Abdullah bin Zubair? Exercise number 3 is find out transitive and intransitive verbs from the unit. And number 4. Write the summary of the whole unit. Okay, thank you.